First off, you have a product called Checkmation.
That's correct.
Tell me what Checkmation is and what the advantages of it are.
Well, Checkmation is a software package that's created under the Check 21 law that George Bush signed into law October of 2003.
And what does that mean?
Now, essentially what we do is if you're a business and you process 50, 100, thousands of checks per day, you have to physically fill out a deposit slip, take the checks to the bank. And then a couple, 3, 4 days later, the money will show up in your account. Well, with Checkmation, we grab the data by scanning the check, capture the data, and electronically deposit the funds in the bank. You end up shredding the check. So you don't have to file a check. You don't deal with the paper anymore. We also capture the data from the check and or any remittance that came with the check and send the data to your accounting system so that we can post the data so that a human doesn't have to type the data into the system.
That sounds like a huge advantage.
It's a tremendous advantage. The return on investment is easy to calculate, and the customers that we have, in more than one aspect, say the program pays for itself in a couple of months.
So they no longer take checks to the bank.
That's correct.
And they can shred the checks. Can they feel confident in shredding the checks after having scanned it in the system? I guess they see it on their computer screens. They know it's there, right?
Well, it's a two-step process. The check and
you don't shred the check till you get the money in your account. Right?
No, well, you can. Actually, you can keep. Typically, they'll keep the check for a minimum of 2 days to maybe 14 days.
Okay.
So the checks and the remittance come in today. We scan it and process it. When you're done, you put a rubber band around it, put a sticky note on it, put it on a shelf. The sticky note will have a date, 2 days, 5 days, a week from now. Somebody comes into the office, takes the stuff off the shelf, throws it into a shredder.
What has to be done to set this up? And do they have to make any special arrangements with their individual banks to accommodate the system?
Yes, we do. In fact, 100% of the time we do some testing with the bank. And we transmit some dummy data to the bank. Once it's all accepted, then we can go live. And we let the bank know when we're going live and start scanning for real.
And this is done during the business day for the most part?
During
or can
the business,
it be done anytime during
It can
the
be
day?
done anytime, but generally it's done during a business day.
And it's secure, foolproof?
It's absolutely secure. In fact, if it wasn't secure, we couldn't do it.
Oh, for sure,
We just absolutely couldn't do it because there's so much vital data that's being transmitted. But it's transmitted over a secure line.
I'm prompted to ask you, are there other systems like this, or is this the one of a kind, you know?
No, many, their competition is rather fierce.
Okay, all right.
We kind of think that we're a little bit different, obviously, and we created the better bread box.
Okay, so let's ask what are the advantages? You know, what sets your system apart?
Well, some of the systems, or many of the systems, and many of them are created by the banks, and the bank would come to you as a businessman, and for a small fee, you would get a check scanner and the software on your computer. You could scan your checks, and then they would be electronically deposited at the bank, and you're done, almost.
Okay.
Because the next step that you have to do now is if you want to really be paperless, you would again scan the check to archive it into your archival system. In our case, we use Laserfish.
Right.
And then still you would pass the check to another individual probably that would call your account up on their computer, and they would enter the data that you paid your bill. And now you're done.
Manually.
Manually.
Yeah.
Now, Checkmation, essentially, we scan the checks and the remittance. And it could be different scenarios. For example, let's say you have a roommate and you get your electric bill. So each of you write a check. Well, when it comes in, there's one bill and two checks. Well, our system, when it's scanned, can capture all of the data and reconcile the fact that we got two checks that have to equal the amount of the bill.
Right.
And if it doesn't, then we can escalate it so that a supervisor has to determine what to do with it. Or the reverse is true. You're a property manager and you manage all of these apartments, condos, whatever, and you get 50 tax bills, but you only send one check. When a tax collector uses our system, they can scan those 50 bills and that one check, and everything gets reconciled before we send it off to their accounting program. But anyway, we capture the data, and then one of the functions is we archive it to the archival system. So now it's digitized and electronically archived. The second step that we do is we electronically send the deposit to the bank, and then the third step is we grab the data that's necessary to post it to the accounting system, whatever the accounting system
Doesn't
is.
matter what the
Doesn't
system.
matter what it is. And now we're done. And then you can shred the check and the paper, and you're finished.
Wow.
A job that normally would take hours to do,
Yeah.
you can take minutes.
So huge advantage.
Huge advantage. Huge
My
advantage.
goodness.
And beside that, the benefit is you get your money like within hours.
Absolutely. Is it relatively easy to use once it's set up?
Well, we, again, as a representative of Laserfish, which is a very, very easy-to-use program, truly is, we tailored everything that we do after using that kind of model. It must be user-friendly,
Okay.
easy to use, and I
Sure.
mean easy to use,
Yeah.
or why go out there with it?